The Super Mario Brothers movie came out this week, and we went and watched it, and we're going to talk about it. Honestly, I got to say, a little backstory for everybody. Talked a bit about this in our first trailer reaction for the Mario Brothers movie, but I grew up with Mario. The first game I remember playing was the NES, playing Mario Brothers 1, the cartridge that had both Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt in the same one. Right? I remember doing that with my brothers all the time, and then I'd go over to my grandmother's and they had Mario Brothers 3, and so I'd always get to play that over there, and like it would always restart every time I went, so I played through like the first two worlds like so many times. I can't even describe like the hundreds of times I played through the first two worlds. I got really good at it. And like I could find all those. But anyway, I digress. So then we got a Super Nintendo. And one of my favorite memories was when we first set it up, me, my two brothers, and my dad, we played through Super Mario World for like 5 or 6 hours. Like just straight. Like as soon as we got it. And like I just remember being blown away by like the difference and like the little purple dinosaurs that were like going by, I guess they were dragons. The Yoshi, not even just the egg, but like the coins that pop, the giant bullet bill in that first world, the ghost houses, I loved that game. And then of course when the Nintendo 64 came out, probably my favorite system, and getting Mario 64 and just that Christmas, staying up, like we got it at my grandmother's house. My parents took it over there, and we got home at like 10, and me and my brother Billy played it till at least 4 or 5 a.m. Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, right? So like, but I loved it. And like when we got to the snow world where you have to get like the little penguin, like I remember thinking like, oh, it's snowing, it's Christmas, this is amazing,
Yeah.
And just I loved Mario 64. And then GameCube came and went. I didn't really have a GameCube, unfortunately, but I did get the Wii and Mario Galaxy. One of the first games I played as an adult. I purchased the Wii myself, right?
Yeah.
Like it was my system I bought. And obviously Mario Galaxy wasn't the first game I played, but it was the first Mario game that I bought for myself, right? And I just remember falling in love with that one. I think Mario Galaxy, it's tough, man. Like 64 has like such a deep place in my heart. But Mario Galaxy is like the best of Mario. But then you get Odyssey on the Switch, and it's like, fuck, man. Like it's perfect. Like they're both just perfect, And of course, me and you, we went and got the Switch. That was one of our first things we did. We went to the midnight launch of the Switch, and then we got married the same week that Mario Odyssey came out.
Yeah, that's when you bought this hat.
Yeah, literally the night before our wedding.
Yeah,
I got this hat. I wore it.
We went and ate Mexican when we went to GameStop.
Yeah, that's how we celebrated our last night as an unmarried couple.
Yeah.
And like, then we went on our honeymoon, and when we come back, we played through Mario Odyssey together, like on both of our Switches. And like, that was one of the first ways we really spent time together as a married couple. And like, there was just something so special about that, And then of course, not to even mention, Mario's wearing his wedding suit and Peach is wearing her wedding dress.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, we had the amiibos, and so I mean, all of that just felt special, right? And so now Viv loves Mario, right? She loves watching Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart. She loves
watching
it, right?
gameplay. So that's so funny to me.
And it's just like at every stage of my life, Mario has always been there, right? And it's always been just that pure, good, wholesome, fun thing, right? Like if you got a Mario game, you were certain that no matter what, it was going to be good. It was going to be a very well polished game, and it would probably be one of the funnest games you'll ever play. I mean, that's just Mario. Like Mario is just that level, And so when they first announced this movie, I mean, obviously we all remember the 1993 Mario Brothers movie. Actually did a commentary track for it over at patreon.com/hopefullyawesome. It was a fever dream. It's weird. You need to check it out. But, you know, Nintendo's been very hesitant to explore movies again after that. Fairly enough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a handful of things every once in a while, like Donkey Kong Country had a show. You know, Pokemon obviously had some stuff. Not fully Nintendo project, but, you know, obviously still very connected to Nintendo. So really getting a big blockbuster Super Mario Brothers movie. It could have gone really bad.
Oh yeah.
It could have gone horribly wrong. It could have been too generic. It could have lost the what made Mario special. It could have lost the characters. It could have tried to be something that it's not. Obviously, Illumination, Minions, like, you know, it could have delved into a odd path. You know, like
I mean, there was many studios going for this when Nintendo first said they wanted to do one.
Yeah.
I think if they had went DreamWorks route,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would have went as well. Which I think they would have backed out once they said, nope.
Well, I mean, they definitely, Shigeru Miyamoto was very adamant that he wanted to find someone who...
And of course, they're not going to go with Sony.
I mean, they could have.
Sony Animation, I mean, I will say the Sony Animation's movies are pretty nice looking.
They did have conversations with them.
Yeah.
Like at one point they were actually were thinking about doing it.
I was like, there's no way they would go Sony. But when I heard Illumination's getting it, I mean, they've made, you know, they're not horrible looking by any means. They're beautiful.
I would say
I've always loved all the Despicable Me movies.
Yeah, I would say Illumination is probably the second best after Pixar and Disney. I mean, Disney as a whole. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, Warner Brothers at one point would have been second, but like now it's such a grab bag. It's hard to. You know, I love Scoob, but obviously that was, you know, R.I.P. So, you know, again, that's where, you know, we're kind of coming from. We get the first trailer, and I'm very happy. Right? I'm pleasantly surprised. You know, everybody gave a lot of shit about Chris Pratt being Mario, and like, oh my god, why is it gotta be Chris Pratt?
He can't be an Italian.
I never really got the. You know, I never really got the uproar about like it's why didn't anybody get mad that Anya Taylor-Joy was playing Peach or the
Charlie Day's Luigi,
or Jack Black as Bowser? Like it was just because it was Chris Pratt, and like I'm not a Chris Pratt defender. I'm just saying, like, for all that negative shit that was being spewed out, like, at least give me a reason, you know, like besides it's just Chris Pratt. Have you watched Parks and Rec? It's great. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. All right?
Yeah.
Not because of Chris Pratt, but just because it's a great show. So, all of that led to this past Wednesday. Mm-hmm. We go to the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping against hope that they didn't lie to us in the trailers, and that this is really going to be what we thought it was. And it was. It was amazing. It was so great, honestly. And like, you know, there's critics are going to say a lot of stuff. You know, all that. I've not really listened to anybody talk about it, but I've seen like people posting things like tomato meters and all that crap.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not here to be a film dissector to talk about, you know, plot and the essence of storytelling and like the 12 sectors of you know how the plot moves and the heroic journey and all that stuff, right? Like, sure, all of that exists. At the end of the day, the only thing that I care about is, did I enjoy it? Did I have a good time watching it? Or did it make me feel something that I don't feel, right? Like, obviously I didn't have a good time watching like The Pursuit of Happiness, but that's a great movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it made me feel, right? That's how I base my opinions on stuff. All right. If you want to dissect something, that's fine. Go do that. That's not what we're gonna do. We just don't. I mean, I'm not knowledgeable enough to be able to dissect a film for all the ways that it.
We don't make video essays, guys.
Exactly. I'm not doing a checkbox of if it. I'm not, if it met the criteria of, a film. All I need to know is, was it enjoyable? Did I have fun? Did it make enough sense to, in the world that they built? Did it make sense?
Yeah.
And it did. It did. And don't get me wrong. If you don't like Mario, I doubt you'll like this, right? If you've never played Mario, you might not understand a lot. But I really think that that's kind of a far-fetched idea, that that there's anybody in this world that has just absolutely zero context for Mario. Like, I feel like that's very far-fetched. That has zero context that would watch this. Okay? I feel like that Venn diagram are two complete different circles, okay? Yeah. Like, I just don't see that. I don't see someone walking into this like, I've never heard of Mario before.
Yeah.
I've never seen a mushroom. Like, I can't believe that that's accurate.
I wore that hat at school for like a character day.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say about 80% of the kids I passed in the hall that day knew who I was. I was dressed up as Mario.
Yeah.
And most of those kids knew exactly where that hat came from. They pointed, they're like, oh, that's Cappy. I said, yes, it is. And then another kid would go, oh, Mario Odyssey. I said, yeah, that was a great game, wasn't it? Yeah, it was so much fun. I loved it. I got to beat it. I said, that's awesome. I beat it too.
Yeah.
But like my class, the Thursday, yesterday, but one of them said, yeah, during spring break, I'm going to go watch the Mario movie. I said, do you want to know if it's good or not? Yeah. I said, I went and watched it yesterday. They're like, you did? I said, yeah, I had a doctor's appointment, but we got to take my little girl to the movie. And they're like, oh. I said, but the Mario movie's really good. I said, is that good to hear? Yeah. I said, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because I don't like spoiling stuff for people.
Yeah.
And they know. I always say that. They're like, I've watched this before. I said, then you can't say anything. You can't spoil it for anybody else. So I told them, I said, it's really good. And a good portion of my kids were like, yes. Yeah. Yes. Can't wait.
Yeah. And honestly, it's a little hard for me to everything I've just said about my history. It's hard for me to divorce myself from Mario, right? To look at this as someone who has no knowledge of Mario. Yeah. It's basically, that's an impossible thing for me to try and do.
Yeah.
So that being said, I do feel like there is enough explanation about the world for it to make sense if you only know Mario, the face.
Yeah.
If you don't really know about the Mushroom Kingdom or the power-ups or Donkey Kong and how all of that works into the story and all that stuff. You may not know who Pauline is. You may not know who Jumpman was.
No.
You may not know any of these things, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie does a decent enough job. It's like Despicable Me. They don't really, in the first one, they didn't really tell you what the minions were.
No, they didn't.
They were just there, and you just kind of accept that.
You're like,
right?
Oh, okay, they work for Gru.
Yeah. And so, this is okay, there's mushrooms that give you superpowers.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. I don't know. I don't think they do a bad job. I think that this is a very lived-in world that they created. And they give explanations when needed, especially Mario being the surrogate audience character where, he's learning about this world too. Yeah. So they're able to kind of use that to kind of explain stuff. But they don't tell you what a blooper is. They don't tell you why this squid swimming by is cool.
Yeah.
They don't tell you about why that pyramid floating upside down over there is a really great thing. They don't tell you those things, right? It's just there. And if you don't know, then it's just a very cool lived-in world, But if you do know, then it's fantastic.
Yeah, you're sitting there
yeah. So honestly, the highest praise I can give this movie is that I smiled ear to ear the entire time. I had the most joy watching this as someone that adores Mario. I loved this movie. And I think that's the best praise I can give it, you know? Like, even Detective Pikachu, right? As stoked as I was for that, and as much as I enjoyed it, like, you know, it wasn't the Pokemon movie I was wanting. You know, Sonic 2 is great, but it's not really the Sonic movie I was wanting, you know? Like, it's almost there, but this is straight up the Mario movie. Like, this nails it. It is perfectly Mario. It is Mario turned into a movie in the best possible way. And they also do the 90s rap in it. Yeah. Which is just great. It's so good. Great. And honestly, no spoilers, but Bowser, way like more personality than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like, based off the trailers, I was like, oh, okay, I mean, he's just gonna be like a fun, like, bad guy. But like, no. They give him stuff, and it's really good. Jack Black killed it. Yeah. He might have stole the show, honestly. Like, he was really the him or the Luma, the blue Luma. Might have stole
Blue Luma, I think. I think
Blue Luma.
I think I had Blue Luma humor today. So, and and last night, because I said something, you're like, "Whoa, that's dark," you know. But yeah, Blue Luma. Yeah. I think that's my personality part of the time.
And I would say that
more meat for the grinder.
The sweet relief of death.
Whoa!
But I would say, as a Nintendo fan, if you're wanting to know whether you should go watch this or not, I 100% think you should. But the Easter eggs that you're going to find throughout this whole movie, I mean, every scene has something from something.
Look at the walls.
Yes.
Look at the backgrounds.
Yes.
If you can.
The moment the movie starts, it's an Easter egg. Like, it will take so long to find every single thing in there. References to Super Mario Brothers 3. References to all the Super Mario Brothers games. There's
Punch-Out references.
Yeah, there's a music cue that is straight from Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
There's some Kid Icarus references. There's the NES Ice Climbers. There's, I mean, obviously, like, Yoshi's Island stuff. Yeah. There's Donkey Kong stuff, Donkey Kong Country stuff. Like, obviously Mario Kart. Lots of Mario Kart things in this.
Yeah.
And it's just great. It is stacked with some deep cuts, really deep cuts. But again, if you know nothing about any of that, it all just is filler in this world to make it feel more alive.
Yeah.
And it works. You know, it's not like a wink and a nod. Like, it is just there.
Yeah.
And it's a part of the atmosphere that you're existing in this movie.
It's not playing around with it like 93s did. You know, hey, oh, look. Oh, no. We're not going to do that. You
see this lady in that red dress? That's a what's her name? I can't even think.
Oh, Big Bertha.
It's Big Bertha.
It's Big Bertha, guys.
She may not be a giant fish, but
yeah.
She's Big Bertha.
And let's see. Oh, and that Mario and Luigi are actually brothers in this instead of Mario taking in Luigi, but then later on in the movie they say that they are related.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
that was very confusing.
The 93 movie, just gone. There was something that came to my mind while you were saying that. Now I completely lost it.
It'll come back.
But it's great.
Yeah.
The whole movie, everything about it, it's, I loved it.
I hope they make a sequel.
I think they will. It's on track to be the highest opening for any Illumination movie.
Yeah, like, go Illumination.
Almost $200 million almost in the opening weekend, which technically runs from Tuesday early showings through Sunday because it's the Good Friday weekend.
Yeah, and a lot of people was on spring break too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like where I work, we're going into our spring break. So
they're saying this is going to be the first blockbuster of the year. Yeah, that it's going to make that much. Yeah, like it's on track to make more than Ant-Man made in its opening weekend. and obviously any of the other.
I'm happy for Illumination.
I'm happy for Nintendo.
I'm happy for Nintendo too. I mean, I'm
Make
always
a Zelda movie, cowards. Like shit. Come on. Partner with Ghibli.
Partner with Ghibli, for God's sake.
I mean, listen, I know that's not going to happen, but it would be great if it did. That'd be pretty freaking cool, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty freaking cool.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to say before we get into spoilers?
Blue Luma Energy.
Definitely check it out. Highly recommend it. Even, I mean, do you have to go watch it in theaters? No. I think if you wait until it's a home video, I think that's fine.
I don't blame you.
But, you know, I do think that it was really fun taking our daughter.
Yeah, I think that was a good experience for her.
Yeah. It's a fun, and it's a fun movie, and it doesn't have... Like, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. Because we're not prudes. It's nothing like that.
Oh, it doesn't have that crude comedy in it.
Like Super Pets. And it's not that Super Pets was bad. It's just like...
No, it's
just
like,
unexpected.
Super Pet.
Yeah.
The DC Super Hits.
Yeah,
like...
This doesn't have that. This is more just...
Oh, what did we call it? We called it something where we reviewed that movie.
Butthole humor?
Not necessarily, like... Well, they call it crude humor, but like, it doesn't do that at all.
Yeah. Like, it's definitely more on the side of like a Pixar as opposed to like a Shrek.
And also, I don't think Miyamoto would have been down for that.
I mean, this definitely fits within the Nintendo family-friendly brand.
Yes.
And like, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have... I mean, it doesn't have anything extreme at all, but that doesn't mean that it's so soft that it's boring. You know,
no.
Like it's
you
good.
actually get good laughs out of it.
Yeah, like I would put it's not as I don't think it's as well written as Bluey.
Yeah,
but like I would say it's as enjoyable as Bluey.
Yes,
you know, so like if you have kids and you watch Bluey, that's kind of, you know, that realm of you know, wholesomeness but still relatable. Like, you know, that's kind of the feeling. Obviously not on the relatable side, but I think you get what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
So I would definitely, if you have kids, if you feel comfortable, obviously, I think this is definitely a movie worth taking them to. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you have any love for Nintendo at all, seek it out and watch it at least when it comes out on home media. At least do that.
We gotta give them more money.
That's true. I already pre-ordered.
Want more pretty things from Nintendo.
I pre-ordered the movie today.
I know.
I ended up going with the Steelbook.
Wait, the one I chose, or the Star?
The Star.
Oh, boy.
The one you chose is just the regular case.
Oh, I know, but you just said Steelbook, and I was like,
it's not a Steelbook.
It wasn't?
No, it's just the regular plastic case. Yeah.
I like how you said, really? That one?
Yeah, well, because it's the normal case. But no, it had sold out. And I was like, oh, man, now I can't get it. And then it came back up, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it. So
it's a star-shaped case with the movie in it.
No, not that one. That's the tin. That's the tin from Walmart. I'm talking about the Steelbook that has the mushroom. It's black and has the mushroom.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Because last time...
I think you even said Star, and I went with it. Yeah. So that's my bad.
Okay.
But yeah.
I was supposed to say, the last time we texted each other about it, I was like, okay, we're getting the Star one. Awesome. So... I
mean, I can order that one, too.
No.
We can have it twice. I don't care.
No.
Maggie, anything you'd like to say before we get...
how many copies of Electra do you own?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, then we're not buying another Mario movie.
I mean, that's a totally different thing, Maggie.
No, it's not.
This isn't Electra.
No.
This is Mario.
No.
I just gushed over how great this movie is.
We're not buying another.
All right. Anything else you want to say before we get into spoilers?
No.
All right. Is the hat to show them that it's spoilers?
Yeah, it's spoilers.
I can't believe Mario was dead the whole time.
All of them were dead.
Crazy. So, okay. Obviously, the post-credit scene. I didn't even mention the post-credits, that there was a post-credit scene.
Nah.
Yoshi. Could have, honestly, I feel like that could have been not stronger, but like, we already saw Yoshi's.
More prevalent.
Like, it could have just been more, you know?
Rather than a bunch of them running in the background, I about died.
Like, had we not had that, then I think the Yoshi post-credit scene would have been better. But, like, since we had that, I feel like it was almost flat. It almost fell flat, you know?
Yeah. I'm just drinking water out of the river.
It was great. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong. Peach. So, okay, at one point it shows that Peach doesn't know where she came from. And it shows her as like a little girl, baby Peach.
Baby Peach.
You know, and we also see baby Mario and Luigi, which was phenomenal. I love that. And in that moment, it plays just a couple of notes from Mario Galaxy when Rosalina would read the bedtime stories. That was about herself as a girl being lost from her parents to the Lumas.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if we're kind of reversing the roles for Peach, because it was theorized. I mean, obviously Miyamoto doesn't give a shit. Like, it doesn't. Like, he doesn't worry about plot. Like, it, you know, he's like, the game has to be fun. That's all I give a shit about.
Yeah.
But it was theorized that Rosalina was actually the daughter of Mario and Peach.
Yeah.
From the future somehow, like some sort of space thing. Right?
Yeah.
More not really like time travel, more like Interstellar. That kind of weird space stuff. And so it's possible that Peach could be Rosalina's daughter in this. That, like, they might be going with that, as opposed to as opposed to the reverse of that. Yeah. Because it definitely was given some Rosalina vibes, and the fact that we had a Luma, you know, so I could see them kind of
Luma in a cage.
Yeah, so I could see them taking that, like, taking that element of Rosalina's story and giving it to Peach, because honestly, Peach has kind of been just a blank slate, plot-wise.
And they do such a good job of making her character more than, oh no, I was kidnapped and Mario saved me.
Yeah,
you know,
like, not even just like making her capable, but like also being likable.
Yeah,
you know, like, she's got a great personality. The way she interacts with Mario, and like that she kind of likes Mario too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like your typical. It's not what you always see in every movie where it's like the guy likes the girl and the girl like is oblivious or whatever. Yeah. Like, she legitimately likes Mario also. Yeah. And I like that.
Yeah.
Bowser being in love with Peach and doing all of this so he can marry her is the funniest thing.
I mean, also gave Odyssey vibes because he tries to marry Peach in it. And he does ridiculous stuff in that game. But nowhere near to the ridiculousness he does in this movie. Playing on a piano.
Amazing.
And like, you know, well, sire, she hates you. No, she doesn't. Turns that Koopa Troopa into dry bones.
Peaches, 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 peaches. I love it. Best song of the summer.
We found out how dry bones is made.
Yeah. They fall on fire and then they're dry bones.
But I really like the fact that Peach was just not helpless damsel in distress. She's not Penelope Pitstop.
Yeah.
You know, help, help, help.
And I like that she wasn't overly the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, like they didn't turn her into like a toxic, like, uber feminist. Like I don't want that to come across the wrong way. I'm definitely supportive of feminism, obviously. But like, sometimes when they try and write characters as like super feminist, that they come across almost like very negative stereotypes of that.
Yes.
You know, and she was not that at all.
No, she wasn't.
Like, she wasn't like a Karen. You know what I mean?
No, and she didn't talk down to Mario either.
Or the Toads.
Toads raised her, you know.
In a weird way, you're going to think this is the stupidest thing I've ever said. She kind of reminded me of Michelle Obama. Like, in the way that she handled, like, that aspect of, like, being a like, statesman.
Yeah.
You know? I know that's a very random thing to say.
That is a random thing to say, but I understand.
Yeah, like, she handled it with grace and like
finesse.
Yeah, you know, like, I believe that she could have been voted the princess.
Yeah.
Because like she actually gave a shit,
Yeah.
you know, and like she wasn't a spoiled princess, and she wasn't like a monarch princess. Like she was like for the people.
The Toads
Yeah.
made her a princess.
'Cause
They loved her.
They loved her that much that they made her a princess. Yeah, which is great. Like that's what it should be.
And I
you
love
know?
the fact that the Toads are like, you know, so concerned about Princess Peach. Like when she leaves
Yeah.
to go to talk to the Donkey Kong, and like they see Mario and they're like, "Who's he?" And she's like, "Oh, he doesn't matter.
He doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's not important."
The Donkey Kong segments.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
which I missed a good portion of
Yeah.
that because I had to take our little girl to the bathroom. But
it was I don't want to make you feel bad, but it was a really good part.
I'm glad I got to catch the end of the fight.
It was basically when Donkey Kong, if you've seen the movie, when Donkey Kong gets announced into the fight with Mario, and they start playing the DK rap, and then you see Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong and Dixie Kong's brother.
I can't
think of his name either. Yeah. And like they start fighting and stuff, and Donkey Kong's just being very, like, you know, he starts like shaking his pecs at the audience.
Yeah, he
and
starts.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. I can't wait for you to see that when it gets to come home. Which there was a lot of like the final act that, like, there's a good couple of chunks that I missed for that.
Yeah.
Like when they first got to Brooklyn and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch it again too. But I mean, like, the movie was so good that I didn't have to have those moments to be able to
you could
enjoy
easily,
it.
if you did miss like a little bit, you could easily piece it together.
And the Mario Kart segments were fantastic.
It was great.
Anya Taylor-Joy is playing a young Furiosa
yeah.
in, like, it's a Mad Max spinoff
Yeah.
about Furiosa.
Yeah.
And she said it was such a weird thing to go from that to this Mario Kart segment that was very much inspired after Mad Max.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, she was like, it was so weird. I thought that was great. Jack Black again steals the show. I mean, we gotta talk. Okay, some of the Easter eggs. Obviously, we're not gonna name them all because it would be impossible for us to even know them all.
The pizza place was Punch Out Pizza. That's what it was called.
Yeah, and it had all the pictures.
Had all the boxers.
all
on
the
it.
boxers, man.
And
Glass
then,
Joe.
Yeah. And then over in a corner of that pizza place was what was it called?
It's called Jumpman.
It was called Jumpman.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
No,
if it
you're
was or
fine.
not.
You're fine.
And Jumpman's playing it.
Yeah, and he does like the jump, and he's like woohoo, and it's the voice, the guy that plays Mario. I'm totally blanking on his name.
It starts with an M.
Yeah, it's something like Matt, something at. I can't think of it either. Oh my god, it's
Marcel. Not Marcel.
I'm gonna Google it.
I feel like it's French. It's like he's probably Canadian, but I think
Charles Martinet.
There we go.
Charles Martinet. So he plays Jumpman in it, and it's right after they play the commercial for the Super Mario Brothers, which has the 90s rap, which is wonderful.
And also at the end of the commercial, they have yellow capes on.
Yes.
And they're balancing on stools to make them look like they're flying.
And they're Super Mario Brothers, which is, I just love that. Yeah, when I saw the cape, I was like, holy fuck, that's from Super Mario World. This is great. But they kind of play up their accents in the commercial. And so Mario is saying, you know, do you think our accents were a little too much? And then Charles Martinet turns around and says, no, I thought it sounded great. Woohoo! And he basically does his Mario voice.
Yeah, and also Charles Martinet, plays Mario's mom and dad.
Yeah, which was awesome.
I thought
It's
that was
so weird. I half expecting some of them to be Mario and Waluigi for a moment. Like, I really thought, like, there was one that looked a lot like Luigi.
Yes.
But he had more curly hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, could that be Waluigi? And then, of course, Mario playing the NES. Like an actual NES system.
Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus on it, yeah. And he had posters for Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
Like, he had the polar bear from Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, tons of stuff in the actual, you know, Mushroom Kingdom and stuff.
Yeah, there's a crazy cap that's from Mario Odyssey where you can buy all the outfits and stuff.
Yeah. I didn't even spot that.
Because there's so much going on, but like I was like, I already know what's on this side.
Yeah.
From the trailers, what's on the other side.
Yeah.
And I caught it. I was like, oh my god, there's a crazy cap.
I heard someone was talking about the whistles, like the warp whistles.
Yeah.
They said something about, like, oh, you play that really well or something.
Oh.
And Rosalina.
Yeah.
And so, like, this is Brooklyn. So they're from Brooklyn. Now, it's just interesting the things that they changed to fit within the continuity of the film and the things that they didn't feel the need to change. So, like, Donkey Kong became Jumpman. Like, the game he was playing was Donkey Kong, but it was just called Jumpman. And the fact that Jumpman is not Mario.
Yeah.
Like, that Jumpman is a video game within Mario's world, right? Like, that's an interesting thing. The fact that they're in Brooklyn, which obviously is fine, but Rosalina being...
Pauline.
What? Pauline, thank you, sorry. Sorry, I said that wrong. Pauline being the mayor of Brooklyn instead of New Donk City, which is fine, again, but it's interesting that they did that. But then also making, like, Kid Icarus a video game in the Mario universe, but Punch-Out is real life in the Mario universe. And, like, Ice Climbers is a video game. Like, it's just interesting the things that they chose to leave as video games and the things that they chose to incorporate into the world.
I think they knew that Kid Icarus being real in that world might have been a little bit.
I mean, I guess it's just if they knew they wanted to play a game, and like that I guess they landed on Kid Icarus being the one that they had no plans for, like I could see like them shying away from like Zelda or Metroid or Kirby, if only for a possibility, however slight, of like a Smash Brothers movie. Like, I don't think that'll happen, but if it did, this would make it a little bit easier to not have to explain why Mario is able to play Metroid when he also fights alongside Samus. Even if they're from alternate dimensions or whatever. I definitely think it'll be like a Kingdom Hearts situation, but anyway, I digress. So it's just interesting that they did that, and like that Donkey Kong was changed to Jumpman, but like we still get the Donkey Kong setup in the Donkey Kong Kingdom, with like the red
stars.
Obviously, anytime I go to the side and do like the side scrolling segments, I thought was really cool. And I love that they did that at first in Brooklyn and really showed that Mario like does this. Like he does things like this. This isn't like a whole new thing for him. Granted, it's to a completely different scale. But like it's definitely not beyond his thought process. And I definitely want a Brooklyn level in a Mario game. Like, I need that. I need him in Brooklyn as a side scroller. I need to play that. Like, as I was watching that, I was like, I want to play this. This looks so rad.
I mean, Disney Dan said, I want to play this movie. I want to play this game. And I was sitting there thinking that too. And our little girl's been asking to watch Mario. So I put it on somebody playing gameplay of Mario Odyssey. And I'm just like
muted.
Sitting there.
Like there's nobody. No voiceover.
Nobody,
it's just
just the game.
I forget what it's called. A clean gameplay or something. There's a word for it, but I mean, she loved it.
She loves it.
She loves just watching that. So then to go see this movie and it's that ramped up to 11, it's awesome, man. God, I loved it. I loved it a lot. I really loved it a lot. It made me feel like a freaking kid again. And I think that's
same here.
That's what it should be.
Yes.
Know?